Today I'm going to be replacing this exhaust gas pressure sensor right here. They're located right here. Mine actually broke off and I just unscrewed it and it fell down. But no big deal. This is about, I think this motorcraft one on Amazon was around $45 maybe. Can't quite remember, ordered it a while back, just now getting to replace it. And you also, normally when you want to replace these, you want to replace the tube also that actually goes to your exhaust manifold, because it's just full of carbon buildup. So this truck, I'm sure this one's the original one, has 200 and something thousand miles on it, low 200s, but I'm not sure if you can see that, but it is just almost solid carbon through that tube right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the tube. Tube was like 25 bucks for this model. On the newer model style, I think it's more like 50 bucks, something like that. But to start, I used a 1-inch socket on the ratchet. This is just 3/8 drive. And I pulled the sensor out loose after I unplugged it, of course. And when I unplugged it, it broke off the top. So no biggie. So what we want to do now, so we're going to take that loose right here. We're actually going to get a drill bit and go through this and get all this carbon buildup out of that spot right in there. So this goes down, and it goes down to your exhaust manifold way down there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show it, but you should be able to feel it if you are just feeling for it down there. So yeah, have a 13mm nut on them, or head on them. So you take those two off, and then you have a 5/8 wrench. And you get off this line down here, just lefty-loosey, and pull that off. And you're going to want to disconnect this sensor here, because it actually routes over it. And you should just be able to pull this off. On the earlier models, I think you actually have to pull a little bit more off. Like this here actually goes over the stud of these. So you just slide that up and over. Be sure not to try to tug on any wires or anything like that. So you might be able to see it a little better down here. So that thing has got a lot of carbon buildup in it, so we're just going to go ahead and replace that also. And this, we're not replacing this fitting, but we are going to get a drill bit, and we're also going to get some carb cleaner and throttle body cleaner. I'm going to spray in there and just get it cleaned up before we attach this. But we are going to go ahead and get the new tube on there. Okay, so once you get it all loose here, and this is on 97 F250, but this is 94 to 97 model. The next one is way down there. So there's not a really good way to see it, but you should be able to just get to it with a wrench and just break it loose. And once you get it off, you're going to want to get like a wire or something and push through there to make sure there's not any carbon buildup in there. If there is, got to get some throttle body cleaner and spray in there. Okay, so I was able to get down here, put my wrench through here at a little angle. You'll be able to feel the line up there, or down there rather. It's at the edge of the exhaust manifold. I got it loose, so now we got to see if we can get it unrouted. So let's see if we can. It's gonna be tough. So you got to do a little twisting motion here. Just there it is. So here's the old one, and here's my new one. If I'm not mistaken, I think this one's a stainless steel. I don't think this is. It might have been, but it's just got so hot. So it's not horrible. The carbon buildup, it seems pretty clean right in there. But we're replacing it anyway. Don't want to ever deal with it again. So that lasted to 20,000 miles. Should get another at least 220,000 out of that. Okay, so I'm trying to get it lined up where you can actually see. Alright, so there it is right there. It's not very bad. I am going to just get a drill bit and just put in there and twist it around. Just try to get it loose. That stuff, and I'm going to crank it up and it's going to shoot it out. So I don't have any throttle body cleaner, but we'll use some brake cleaner. So I found a good sized drill bit and I put it into this just to make sure it fit. So now I'm just gonna see here. Spray this bit a little bit. Okay. Now I'm just gonna go try to get in there. Go in. So I'm gonna crank it up and just gonna blow it out real quick. So I just cranked it up and blew it out, and it should be good to go for that part. We routed the new one down. So the way it goes is like this. The curve, real sharp curves, goes towards the exhaust manifold, and this goes toward the actual sensor. So I put a little piece of just tape on here so this can't slide down to the bottom, because that would suck. So there's a little gap down here, and what you want to do is just get that in there, just like that. Just kind of twist a little bit, and you might be able to see it coming out the front a little bit. Just kind of twist it into place. You shouldn't ever feel any like serious resistance or anything. Alright, so we got it sitting there. Okay, so now we're gonna see if we can get it lined up down here. A little bit in there, but not very much. It's really baked on there. But we do have a lot better than it was. So make sure your mating surface for these type fittings is clean and not any burrs. This looks a little messed up, but it's actually smooth all the way around. And also check your threads, at least to the point where they made up. Make sure they're clean. Alright, so now come up over here and just putting this in there. Like that. Make sure you're not going to pinch any wires. Alright, so then we come up under here and we need to mesh these two together. So I'm going to pull it over and then just kind of start it a little bit. So it should be pretty easy to start. If it's hard, then you got an issue. Alright, so I got it. There we go. Thread it on there. Pretty good ways. Alright, so now we're actually going to go ahead and secure this up here, and then we're going to tighten this one down first, and then we're going to come up under here and tighten that down. Okay, so we do have it attached now and tightened down. So you want to get this really close to being flush, this edge to this edge, and that's tight. So you don't want to jack it up and tighten it too much, so just tighten it until you're really close. Alright, so now we're going to add the new sensor right here. This is the part number I got off Amazon. It is motorcraft. I only use motorcraft or upgraded parts from like Swamp Diesel or Extreme Diesel Power on this truck. It's got a few upgrades. We're just going to open that up. Alright, so here's our new sensor right here. And we're just going to thread it in. Okay. So make sure you don't put any pressure on this plastic piece. Otherwise you won't be having a good day. So I'm not sure exactly how far we're going to go here, but as long as it ain't leaking, that's what we want. So I still got a good bit of thread sticking up here. We're going to give it a try. Enough. We can do a little more just to get the sensor in the right location. Okay. So we got that. Make sure you reattach your oil pressure sensor right there. So these have a lot of sensors, but if they go bad, well, it's not going to run right. So like here's your injector control pressure sensor right here, and then right down there, that's your IPR valve. That sometimes goes bad, and some of these you can unplug them and it'll default and you'll be able to crank it and get to wherever you need to go, but I wouldn't advise doing that. But it's good for testing where you can just unplug it and stuff. And the other day I actually had this line bust and I lost about 30 gallons of fuel, but I got a Napa built me a new one and I replaced it and it worked pretty well. Okay, so I'm gonna just crank it up and see if we got any leaks. Okay, so we got it cranked up. I don't feel any leaks. And there shouldn't be any down there. So I think we're gonna be doing